Welcome back to BT Vancouver. It is 7:17 on this Wednesday morning. An update on the mass shooting investigation in Nova Scotia. Officials say the suspect was related to several retired RCMP officers. Investigators say they did not give him any of the police uniforms or replica vehicles he used in the rampage. The 51-year-old suspect went on a 13-hour crime spree before he was shot and killed by police. 22 people were killed. The gunman was disguised as an RCMP officer and had at least 4 replica vehicles. Despite family connections with the RCMP, police are confident he did not get any help from them.
The gunman was related to retired RCMP officers, and we've interviewed those officers, and we're continuing the investigation. But at this time, what I'll confirm is that there's no indication that a former member of the RCMP provided assistance.
The incident started after a fight with the suspect's girlfriend, who managed to escape. Officials say she provided key information. The flooding in Fort McMurray continues to threaten thousands of homes. The local mayor calling it a once-in-a-century disaster, made all the more complicated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Courtney Theriault has more.
We shoveled nonstop, just trying to nonstop fill those sandbags.
Jamie Sullivan was one of dozens of volunteers helping to sandbag a perimeter as floodwater crept towards the Fort McMurray Hospital Monday night. After evacuating during the 2016 wildfires, Sullivan says it was an easy decision to step up.
I just remembered how many people were just nice and asked me if I needed anything. Honestly, I think yesterday was better for my mental health to help than just sitting at home watching the news.
So what we were experiencing this year is a 1 in 100 year flood.
Even as the downtown remains largely submerged, some good news Tuesday. The Athabasca River ice jam shrinking slightly and water levels are mostly steady. But it will be up to Mother Nature, not the military, to release the jam.
Using dynamite or explosives or calling in a CF-18 is not an option in this situation. There is, in fact, no engineered solution.
I want to stress there has been no request from the municipality. Fairly satisfied that both the province and the municipality have the situation under control.
That said, the feds have vowed to help Alberta as needed.
And as in regards to military support, we're there for military support if we receive a request from the province.
In the interim, the biggest challenge is helping 13,000 residents displaced by the floods, as using public facilities like a hockey rink are limited during the pandemic.
One of the precautions we're taking is putting people up in hotels and in the work camps where they can have individual accommodations.
And even with separate rooms, emergency officials say they are acting to mitigate any potential COVID outbreak.
So they're doing screening at the accommodations to make sure that people are, they're not reporting fevers or any symptoms of COVID.
A timeline to return is fluid and the extent of the damage unknown. That's more uncertainty for a town that already has a surplus. But for residents like Jamie Sullivan, they're not about to let this latest natural disaster get the best of them.
And I just have to get some clean water and stuff for myself, but I've already told a few friends, I'll just be watching for the volunteer memos.
In Edmonton, Courtney Theriault, City News.
7:20 here on Breakfast Television. As Canada passes 50,000 cases of COVID-19, officials are now asking if it's more deadly than initially predicted. The federal government's latest data shows more people are dying from COVID-19, even as the increase in new cases slows down. Canada's Chief Public Health Officer says we could lose as many as 3,900 people by May 5th.
Canada's confirmed case count was doubling every 3 to 5 days. At this time, the number of cases is doubling at a rate of every 16 days.
Well, Parliament was held virtually for the first time yesterday, and it turns out our politicians have some of the same tech troubles as the rest of us.
The Honourable Minister of Health, Ms. Haidu, please unclick your mute.
Oh, got it. Sorry. After that somewhat uneloquent beginning, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak at this historic first sitting of virtual Parliament.
Thank you very much, Chair. Can you hear me well?
Almost all MPs dialed in on Zoom. There were poor connections and background noise. The biggest concern is still cybersecurity.
Scotia Bank.